हरे कृष्ण। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीर वनचारी, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जयो राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे, जयो श्री गोपाल जयो श्री गोपाल। जयो गौरनिताय जयो गौरनिताय। जयो जयो प्रभुपाद जयो जयो गुरुदेव Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottara Shata Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajak Acharya Ashtottara Shata Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. वैसे ही है, ठीक है, थोड़ा आवाज रहेगा. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया. भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांघ्रिये. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse number 29. Prakritir guna sammudha. Can repeat. Prakritir guna sammudha sajjante guna karmasu tana krishna vido mandan krishna vinna vichalayet. Purport, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. Purport. Persons who are unknowledgeable falsely identify with the gross material consciousness and are full of material designations. This body is a gift of material nature, and one who is too much attached to the bodily consciousness is called manda, or a lazy person without understanding of spirit soul. Ignorant men think of the body as the self. They accept bodily connections with others as kinsmanship, and the land in which the body is obtained is their object of worship, and they consider the formalities of religious rituals to be ends in themselves. Social work, nationalism, and altruism are some of the activities for such materially designated persons. Under the spell of such designations, they are always busy in the material field. For them, spiritual realization is a myth, and so they are not interested. Those who are enlightened in spiritual life, however, should not try to agitate such materially engrossed persons. Better to prosecute one's own spiritual activities silently. Such bewildered persons may be engaged in such primary moral principles of life as non-violence and similar materially benevolent work. Men who are ignorant cannot appreciate activities in Krishna consciousness, and therefore Lord Krishna advises us not to disturb them and simply waste valuable time. But the devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord because they understand the purpose of the Lord. Consequently, they undertake all kinds of risks, even to the point of approaching ignorant men to try to engage them in the acts of Krishna consciousness, which are absolutely necessary for the human being. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody to today's evening Bhagavad Gita class. So, as we already read, we are on chapter 3 entitled Karma Yoga. And the verse we read was verse number 29. So, these verses, verse number 26, 27, 28 and 29, these four verses, they deal intricately with the art of working. Karya karmasu kaushalam, that's what is the word used, means how to work. So that has been described in very detail. How to work as to discharge one's responsibilities on a day-to-day basis, and also at the same time to achieve the high objective or the lofty objective of the true goal of human life. How to understand this? See, when a child is going to school, there are so many things the child has to do. As soon as the child enters the class, the teacher comes to the class, the children stand up, they wish the teacher, good morning sir, good morning madam, etc. And they take out their books, they sit for their studies, they take the classwork notebook, and so on. So many things are there. So this is like day-to-day work that one has to do. But what is the main purpose of going to the school? To get education. And by the time the child passes SSC, the entire school period, the child must know certain basics: reading, writing, communicating, and trying to read books and understand, grasp the meaning of what is written in that, if necessary to communicate to somebody in an effective language. All these are the basics that a child is expected to know, and also some basics about mathematics, some basics about geography, history, science. All these things is required. So both are there. On a day-to-day basis, whatever you have to do, and also the whole purpose of going to the school. In the same way, when we come into this world, immediately as soon as we are born, our duties will begin. When a child is born, child is very small, completely dependent on the parents. So children have to obey what the parents say. But as the child grows up, goes to school, then becomes a student. So student means to learn. Then when the child grows up further, then the child will have to serve the parents, serve the people at home, and engage in various other little activities. Then one may get married. Then again the other responsibilities start. You either become a father or a mother, and then you have the responsibility of bringing up the children. So these things will be there. They are known as responsibilities that come to you in the natural course. You have to discharge that. There is no escape from that. But what is the purpose of human life? That is the point. The entire purpose of human life is not just to get educated, do a job, have children, and then afterwards get them married, get them settled in life, and again go back to square one. No, that is not the purpose. The purpose of human life is to have God realization. In a human form only this can be done. Animals cannot do it. Other forms of life it is not possible. Only in the human form one can have God realization, and God realization comes along with self-realization. इसे हिंदी में कहते हैं भगवत साक्षात्कार और आत्म साक्षात्कार. These two things are together. That is the higher goal of human life. So therefore, being a human being does not mean just having children, bringing them up, and doing your responsibilities as a citizen of the nation, and then say, I have done. No. If you have not done this, now why are we sitting in a temple in the first place? If you don't sit in a temple, nobody is going to punish us. Okay, why are you going to the temple? Or there is no need to go to the temple. No. The purpose of coming to the temple is because within the heart, that is, the soul is craving to have connection with God. That is the real reason why people are drawn to the temple. Otherwise, there is no need to come to the temple. And what do you get when you come to the temple? 99% I get this answer. Why do you go to a temple? 99% the answer is, can anybody say? Mental peace, exactly right. Peace of mind. Everybody wants peace of mind. Peace of mind cannot be purchased in any shop. It is not a sellable commodity. Peace of mind can be had only in relation to God, not otherwise. Therefore, people come to the temple. Whether you know it or you don't know it, this is the actual reason for coming to the temple. So, this is the higher goal of human life. What is the higher goal of human life? To realize God. And simultaneously, you also come to know who are you. Self-realization. So, verse numbers 27 and 28, they compare the difference between a person who is working in an attached way and a person who is working in a detached way. Now, what is the meaning of working in an attached way and working in a detached way? Attached means attached to the results of one's actions. If I do something, I must get a benefit from that. This is known as fruitive activity. And working in a detached way means doing one's duty as a matter of duty, not expecting any results from that. Whether you get it, okay. If you don't get it, it's okay. I have done my duty. I am not worried. That is working in a detached way. You are not attached to the result. Oh, if I don't get, then tomorrow I am not going to do this. It cannot happen like that. You are supposed to do what you are supposed to do. You cannot escape from your prescribed duty. They are known as prescribed duties. So parents have to take care of children. But sometimes children may obey nicely, they may behave nicely, so it's a pleasure. But when children do not obey, when children behave in an irresponsible way, or they bring a bad name to the family, you cannot just throw them out of the house. It is the responsibility of the parents to correct them and to see that they come into the right line. So therefore, one cannot just turn your face and go away. No, this is not happening. I don't want to do it. That is the meaning. So therefore, attached means attached to the results. Detached means whatever it may be, I will do my duty. I will not fail in my duty. That is the point. If I work, I must get enjoyment. Sometimes people have that kind of a notion. Enjoyment of the senses. Okay? And also get admiration of the society. People must say, हाँ कितना अच्छा आदमी है, बहुत अच्छा से अपना काम कर रहा है. So you want that kind of a good name in the society. And if you don't get that, भाड़ में गई. I don't want to do it. So that is the point. Attached and detached. So detached means working as a matter of duty, whether or not the senses are pleased or pampered, or the society admires you. Sometimes they say, no, this is a thankless job. You have to do certain jobs which are thankless. You have to correct people. People get angry when you go and correct them. But that is the duty. What a policeman does. Policeman has to control and discipline the crowd. That is a thankless job. People say, Arey, why are you stopping me? Sometimes they have some, arguments with the policeman. These kind of things happen. Okay. But why does this happen? Why does this attachment to one's results come? For the simple reason that when you desire sense gratification, when you want to see that your senses are pleased, and you're working in that consciousness, then you become attached. You go to a hotel, you pay for something, and he serves you the food. If the food is not to your taste, you start getting angry. Ye kya diya? What have you done? But it may not be to your taste, but he might have made it to the general average taste. You may want it more sweet, or you may want it more pungent. That is your choice. But it is not like what you want. Then you get angry, then you get upset. So those kind of things happen to people. So unattached means not concerned. जैसे भी हो, खा लेना, पेट भरने का है. I want to gain energy and I want to do my work. That is detached. What is the difference in attachment and detachment? In attachment, you want to please yourself. When you are detached, you want to please Krishna or God. You are doing it for God's sake. आप जो भी अपना कर्तव्य निभा रहे हो भगवान की प्रीति के लिए कर रहे हो. So in that way, you are not very much concerned whether you get pleasure or no. That is the point. The second point is, a person who is attached, why is he attached? Because his ego is very strong. मैंने किया. If I have done it, people must appreciate it. Otherwise, he gets angry. I will not do it. That is the kind of mentality. So, when the ego is very strong, you are attached to your results of the work. But when you know, Mamaivamsho jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana manashashthani indriyani prakrite sthane karshati. The meaning of this is Krishna says to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. Every living entity in this world is my part and parcel. A small bit of my nature is there in every living entity. Mamaiva amsha, we are all amsha of God. Jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana. From the very beginning, from beginning of time immemorial, that is the true state of affairs. So when one works in that consciousness, then the person becomes detached. He is not so attached with his own man pratishtha, that why you are not respecting me. That kind of ego is not there. And the third difference in attachment and detachment is, once you are attached, you are self-conscious. Then you are not Krishna conscious. That is the point. Everything you want for your pleasure, for your convenience. That is the mentality. So you are not worried about Krishna, you are not worried about God. If things go your way, you are happy. Otherwise, get lost. That is the mentality. But one who is detached, his mentality is always he is in the mood of serving Krishna, serving the Lord. Doing it everything in a service mentality, rather than expecting any results from that for oneself, any benefits or any gains for oneself. So this is the broad classification of attached and detached. The thing is, when one is detached from sense gratification, generally the mentality is, when you do something, you want some pleasure for yourself. That is a general mentality. It is not a big sin, but that is general mentality. But then the nature of the mind is always to be attached somewhere. Like a bird, when it sits, it will hold the branch. It needs an attachment. It needs somewhere to hold on. Similarly, the mind wants to hold on to something. So if you are not able to hold on to your pleasures, then you should hold on to Krishna, that is God. Then automatically you become detached from sense gratification. So attachment to sense gratification and attachment to Krishna are mutually opposite. They are not mutually compatible. If you have one, the other will go away. If you have the other, this will go away. That is how it works. So detached from sense gratification means attached to Krishna. Or conversely, if you develop attachment to Krishna, automatically you will be detached from sense gratification. What is sense gratification? Indra trupti. Just want to please yourself. That is sense gratification. So now, the verse that we did today is Prakrite Guna Sammodha. That is the first word that is there in today's word. So Prakriti means material nature. Now we all say material nature, but what exactly is material nature is very clearly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Very clearly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. So, and this, let me tell you, modern science does not know a word about it. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki. So, modern science is far removed from this knowledge. Why? Because modern science is only material knowledge. And The knowledge of the Gita is spiritual knowledge. The two are completely different, but both are necessary. I don't say that you don't need material knowledge, you definitely need it. But only material knowledge is incomplete. That is why when you have everything in life, food, shelter, clothing, this is the bodily requirement, roti, kapda, makan. If you have all these three things, even then one cannot be fully happy. Why? Because the yearning of the soul is not fulfilled. And what is the yearning of the soul? Soul is different from the body. What does the soul want? To love and to be loved. The soul wants love. Without love, the soul is not satisfied. So therefore, a family is a happy family if there is loving relationship between the members of the family. Otherwise, it is a hellish place to live. Similarly, the work atmosphere, the office where you work, if there is good understanding and reciprocal arrangement between the members of the office, between the seniors and the juniors, the subordinates and the seniors, then there is a loving relationship or good understanding, and it is a pleasure to work. Otherwise, you say there is no job satisfaction, you look for a change of job. So, material nature is actually consisting of three modes: Sattva gun, Rajogun, Tamogun. That is mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance. This knowledge is not given in material science. General science textbook does not mention about this. Why? Because this knowledge can only be given by God. The Creator knows His creation the best. How He has created it, He knows and He tells us. But we can see these three modes in every aspect of human life. That is the beauty. Sattva gun means mode of goodness. So food in the mode of goodness is tasty, it is not very spicy, it is not bland also, simple, acceptable and likable. That is what is the general understanding. It is hot and fresh. All this is symptoms of food in the mode of goodness. Mode of passion, we say very tikha bolte hai na, very pungent. If you start eating it, water starts running from the eyes, the nose starts watering, that is it. But some people enjoy that. It must be very pungent. Bhaiya jara aur tikha chutney dalo, then they enjoy it better. And when aankh se, naak se, kaan se bhi pani aane lagta hai, then they say, wah, kya maja aaya. So that is mode of passion. And mode of ignorance, stale food. Items like meat, which is dead item. Then items which is fermented. Then item which is cold, not fresh, not warm. All these things are in the mode of passion. So liquor is fermented food that is supposed to be in the mode of ignorance. So this is it. So three kinds of food. Like that, music also is of three kinds. Music that touches the soul is in the mode of goodness. Music which moves your body, makes you dance, that is in the mode of passion. And music which is too loud, not agreeable, like hard rock, those kind of music in the mode of ignorance. Then, so there are three modes, material nature. So prakrite guna sammudha. So it comprises of these three modes, and when the three modes overpower an individual, then he is completely influenced by the modes of nature. And what happens to such a person? How do they approach God? How do they pray to God? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained this to Sanatan Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 22, verse number 38 and 39. What does he say? Krishna kahe ama bhaje mage vishaya sukha Amrita chadi vishamage ei bada murkha. Murkha means fool. What does Krishna say? If one engages in my transcendental loving service, but at the same time wants the opulence of material enjoyment, he is very foolish. He is like a person who gives up nectar to drink poison. So people who are constantly looking for sense gratification and they are approaching God in that manner, what does Krishna say? He says, Bada Murkha, you are a foolish person. So what does he do? Now you see his thought process. How does God think? Ami Vigyayei Murkha Vishaya Kene Diba. He says, I am intelligent, this person is a fool. Why should I give poison? Swacharnamrita diya Vishaya Bolaya Ba. Means I will give the nectar of my lotus feet and I will make them forget the illusory sense gratification. This is a very important point. What does it make us understand? This is the benefit of approaching the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Even if you want sense gratification, what does he do? He is like the mother. Mother loves the child the best. There are other members in the family like Chacha, Chachi, Mama, Mummy, Nana, Nani. They are all there. But when the child will go and say, I want chocolate, they will immediately give the chocolate. Acha bacha hai, cho khane do, khane do. But what does the mother say? Only one, not more than one. Child says, I want one more, Mama. No, I will not give you. Child is asking, mother is not giving. Why is she not giving? Because child is murkha. Child doesn't know eating too much of chocolate will fall the teeth. But mother knows. So mother says, why should I give you? I will give you peda. Understand? I will give you something better. Take this milk sweet. This is also tasty. Don't spoil your teeth by eating that thing which is injurious to your health. In the same way, when adults grow up, they are still with the child mentality. They want to smoke, they want to drink. So, a sober person will tell them, don't do this. It is printed on the cigarette packet. This can cause you cancer. But still the foolish person will go and take it. So this is how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He will give you with discretion. He will not give you anything you ask. He knows what is good for you and He will give you accordingly. So this is a very important point to be noted. That is why devotion to God always will uplift you. It will not bring you down. Even in your foolishness, without understanding, you may ask for some things in life which is actually not desirable. The Lord will control the result. That is why we have to surrender to the will of the Lord. That is what the Gita is teaching us. Okay? The ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. I remember once I had gone for a product launch. So there was a big party. And what was the star attraction in the party? Alcoholic drinks. This is what happens in the corporate sector. They want to simply please the people and they cater to the baser elements. So there was one person who was standing there at the counter. He was so enthusiastic, so enthused, just going and opening the bottles, starting distributing to this person, that person, full of spirit and life. So, this is what is explained. Materially engrossed, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. When they don't understand what is good and what is bad, they are just attracted by the baser senses and they get attached. Yes. He was giving liquor like a pujari gives charanamrit. With great care and attention. Very, very precious. Like that. Similarly, just outside this temple there is one Sapna Bar. So one day one of our devotees was coming late at night after a program, and there was one man who had come out of the bar fully drunk, and there was a beggar, and the beggar was asking for money. So this man, in his coat pocket, he took out that bottle of drink, quarter. He took out that and he gave it to him. क्या याद करेगा मैंने भी क्या दिया तुमको. So what is he giving him? He is giving him liquor. But is it good for the beggar? It's not good for the beggar. So what is this known as? Charity in the mode of ignorance. You understand? Charity also is run in three modes. Charity in the mode of goodness, you give something useful, you give something beneficial. Charity in the mode of passion, you give something which may not be beneficial but may be attractive to the senses. But charity in the mode of ignorance, you give something that is actually harmful to the person. But still you feel that you have done a great job. But the wise should unsettle them, engage them in all such activities of devotion for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. That is what is written in this verse. So a wise person, what will he do? He will refrain from giving them wrong things. But people who are so materially attached, they are not willing to listen. They want it by hook or by crook. So the wise people, what do? They somehow devise means and arrangements by which they hold programs, satsang, so many other things they do. They give very tasty prasad for people, so that will attract them. And then they give them some wise advice, they read something from the scriptures. So that way they somehow try to engage them in beneficial activities, in giving them the message of God, so that their consciousness is gradually uplifted. So this is how gradually it is explained over here that you cannot go and forcibly tell a person. Supposing you are sitting in a taxi and the taxi driver, he removes a packet from a small pouch from his pocket. What is that pouch? Gutka. What does it contain? Tobacco. Is it good? It is already written on the packet. It can cause you cancer. But he still opens it, he puts it in his thumb, he starts rubbing it, and he will eat it. So if you start telling him, hey, don't do this, it's not good for you, what will he say? मैं अपने पैसे से खाता हूँ, तेरे बाप का क्या जाता है? He will talk like that. So even if you tell people who don't have proper understanding, they are not going to listen. So that is what is explained in this verse. So what should the wise people do? Do your devotional activities sincerely and silently, but set an example. Set an example by which they may feel like changing their way of living and come to your level. That is the wise thing to do. Now, I will give you some examples of how giving them an exposure to Krishna consciousness can actually develop people. These are factual examples which I have seen myself in this temple, because we have our counseling groups and there are devotees who get attached to these groups as they come into the movement, as they take their spiritual life seriously. So I know one person, he was very interested in doing social service. So one social service is distributing food free of charge. Okay, so this person was always going to Tata Memorial Hospital, Cancer Hospital, and there was one organization, so they would provide food for the cancer patients and their relatives who don't have accommodation in the hospital, but they are just sitting outside in the footpath. They come from outside Bombay, they have got no place to stay, so somehow they want the treatment to be done. It may take a few days for them, so they have to stay. So like that it is there. So he was doing that service. Every Saturday he would go there and do this service. As he started doing this, one day a van came from Juhu temple, Hare Krishna temple, and they brought khichdi, piping hot khichdi. And so he was there, so they told him, come on, help us. So he also got into the act and he started serving khichdi. But what was he serving now? Food. Apparently food. But what is this khichdi? It is prasad. It's offered to the Lord. So see, gradually his mentality of doing social service, how it is gradually turning into a spiritual activity. The same activity he is doing, he has got the desire to do it, the enthusiasm to do it, but now he is serving khichdi. And that same person, as he started, so then when he started doing that, he really felt some kind of extra pleasure in his heart. This is the beauty of devotional service. And then he started inquiring, oh, what is this organization? Oh, this is ISKCON. Then somebody told him, there is an ISKCON temple at Chowpatty. He started coming here. And even today, after 8 years, he is still doing the same service in this temple. Every morning he will be sharp in time, and there is prasadam breakfast served for the devotees. He is there in the forefront. He will be serving prasadam to everybody. Even today he has taken up that seva very regularly. Of course, he has got his own business, he has got his own work, everything is there. But despite that, he will come here, take darshan, offer Guru Puja, do everything, go down and start doing his seva. So this is how the wise people, simply without telling you, without forcing you, simply by setting an example and giving you an opportunity, gradually do this. I'll give you one more example. These are all live examples, real examples. One person started coming to the temple, and he would be going to Babulnath. He would come down the lane. Then he saw there is another temple here, so he just got in. He had darshan. He liked the darshan. Then again he came next day. Somebody told him, you can go down and have prasad. So he had prasad. He had darshan. Then again he came. He started coming because he liked the environment here. Then somebody told him, you wait for some time. There will be a pravachan now, so you can hear the discourse. He sat down, he heard the discourse. He liked that too. So gradually he started coming. But though he was coming on a regular basis and doing all these things, but there was one habit of his which was there. And that is, after completing his activities in the temple, he would go out, get into the bar over there and take a drink. He was accustomed to that. But after a few days, suddenly he felt something is going wrong. The environment in the temple, and after that when I come and sit in the bar, he started feeling a little guilty from inside. Nobody told him anything. Of his own accord, he stopped going to the bar and he totally gave up drinks. That change came to him. And today, he is very much a part of this congregation. He has taken Diksha and he is still doing his activities very regularly. But he has been purified of all these sense gratificatory attachments. So this is what we read some time back. When you actually deal with Krishna, Krishna takes the initiative to pull us up. That is the beauty. That is the beauty of devotional service. Knowingly or unknowingly, if you engage in devotional activities, it automatically elevates you because you are not alone. Krishna is reciprocating with you. And when he reciprocates, this kind of thoughts begin to come. You don't know. You said, मैंने नहीं किया, अपने आप हो गया. अपने आप कुछ भी नहीं होता है. अगर आपने किया, नहीं तो आपके हृदय में बैठे हुए परमात्मा ने किया. That is how it happens. Because other than you, there is one more entity within your heart, and that is Paramatma, accompanying every living entity in this material world. So once you take a step towards God, God takes a giant step towards you and reciprocates and gradually uplifts you. That is the beauty of devotional life and devotional service. You get a boost from God. And the word manda is used. Manda means lazy. Lazy for spiritual life. Lazy for devotional activities. So there is a beautiful shloka in the Bhagavatam. It says, Kalena alpayushya kalau asmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya hyupadruta. What is the meaning of this? What happens in this age of Kali? Kalena alpayushya means in this age of Kali, everybody's lifespan is shortened. You may wonder how we are all living a good life. Actually, if you read the scriptures, you will understand that when you want to bless somebody, you will say, you may live for 100 years. So sal jiyo. We bless people like that. But that is the calculation of the age of life in Kali Yuga. We may be surprised to know that in the earlier Yuga, that was Dwapar Yuga, people lived for 1000 years. And in the Yuga before that, that is multiplied by another 10, they lived for 10,000 years. That was Treta Yuga, at the time of Lord Ram. Treta Yuga. And before that, Satya Yuga, people lived for 1 lakh years. 10,000 multiplied by 10 is 1 lakh. So in Kali Yuga, lifespan is very short. So one symptom of Kali Yuga is given, Kalena Alpa Ayushya. Ayushya means lifespan is very small. Kalau Asmin Yuge Jana. In this Kali Yuga, unka lifespan is very short. And what Mandasu Manda Matayo, and their intelligence is very much dull, Manda Buddhi. They become very dull in their intelligence. That is why they are totally attracted to sense gratification. They just want to please their senses. They don't bother about the consequences of that. If you please it in a wrong way, what happens? There is a right way to please the senses. You can offer food to the Lord, make delicious dishes, and then you can serve it to the devotees as prasad. That is enjoying sense gratification the right way. And that will actually uplift one. Manda Bhagya, and even their fortune also is damaged. Even if they want to progress spiritually, there are more distractions than attractions. So they get distracted into all the wrong propaganda and get caught up in vices. So they have to be pulled out of that also. So this is the general understanding. And then, so people generally are on the bodily platform, and they generally think doing good means doing social work, giving food to the poor. It is not bad, but it is only on the bodily platform. If you give them food today morning, today night also they want, again they get hungry, tomorrow also they want. So that is a non-stop demand. Then work like nationalism, work like altruism. What is the meaning of the word altruism? Altruism means unselfish concern for others. You must have concern for others. You can have it selfishly also. That if I do something for this person, then I will get some benefit out of it. That is not altruism. Altruism means you don't want anything for yourself, but you want to do it selflessly for others. So these kind of activities people generally like to engage in. They say, we are doing social service. But what is real benefit? That's what Prabhupada says. Real benefit is to give people Krishna consciousness. Give them Krishna. Once you give them Krishna consciousness, if you encourage them to make Krishna the center of their life, then Krishna reciprocates with them, and gradually all their baser desires are purified and they are getting uplifted. This is the beauty of it. So, men in ignorance cannot appreciate Krishna conscious activities. That is why you find that in such kind of temples, you will not find that kind of a crowd where you will find in places where people's senses are titillated. It's not that kind of a thing. By engaging them in Krishna conscious activities, they gradually come to accept Krishna consciousness, and by Krishna's mercy, they get purified. That is the beauty. And as I gave you examples, it is a regular feature that we are observing in this temple. I am connected from here since 1990, and I have seen so many cases of people coming, gradually associating with devotees, gradually overcoming their negative qualities. And what to speak of this? How did the Krishna conscious movement start? It started in USA. Prabhupada went to US, and there he was among the hippies. And who were the hippies? They were the outcast of the society. They deliberately left their families. They gave up their wealth. They gave up their homes, and they lived in the streets. They lived like cats and dogs. They started stealing for their requirement. Why they were doing this? They didn't want to fight the Vietnam War. They didn't want to go to the military. They were a rebel against the society. It is in that scene Krishna took his great ambassador like Prabhupada to US. And there Prabhupada gradually engaged them. He started singing kirtans, Krishna conscious bhajans, Hare Krishna, he started singing this. So they also started clapping their hands and dancing around him. Then he started serving them prasad in a very simple way. But as people came and joined him, he was convinced that if they chant Krishna's holy name, they will get purified. And it happened. The miracle of miracles. Drug addicts cannot be easily changed. But Prabhupada changed them. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. That means, patit means one who is fallen. Pavan means one who is purified. So simply by giving them the holy name, making them chant Krishna's name, they were purified of their vices and gradually they became Vaishnavas. And then they took up to the movement, and that is how the first batch of devotees from the West came in 1971 to India. And it was a great attraction for the people to see these whites, Gore Log, dancing on the streets to the dhun of Hare Krishna. And there was a big Pandal program at Cross Maidan. 10,000 people were attending that. And it was a spiritual revolution in the making. And then Prabhupada gradually said, now I will shift my attention to India. Then he came and he started preaching in India also. Then temples were built in Mayapur, Vrindavan, Hyderabad. And today we are having, in Prabhupada's time he built 108 temples all over the world. But today there are more than 600 to 700 temples all over the world. In Bombay itself we are having 5 temples now. Why is it increasing? By demand. People want it because they are seeing the results. When they come into a place like this, they see a transformation. Today's world is one of information technology. We are actually having information pollution. So much of information, you don't know what to accept and what to reject. Contrary information, contrasting information, and everybody claims I am right. You get confused. Therefore, what is the solution? You must have the right kind of information, and that is what the Gita is giving. So, the problem of the people is information, 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 no transformation. But what is spiritual knowledge? Spiritual knowledge is one which brings about transformation. I'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Do you have any questions? Anybody has any questions? If you have, we can take. Otherwise, we can start the kirtan. After this, there is Shayan Darshan at 8:50. We have some 5 minutes time for questions. If anybody has anything, you can ask. Any general doubt also you can ask. Either to this or even otherwise. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, while we are practicing our bhakti, is it necessary that we should give up our attachment completely? So, I mean, we are attached to our families, we love our families. So, how can we practice our attachments as well?
See, when I told you that attachment, it is not that you have to give up your attachment to your families. You have to give up your attachment to the vices. You know, you have to give your attachment to sense gratification. It is not you have to give up your attachment to your responsibilities. That you must maintain. That is why I said, you have to have your day-to-day responsibilities to be fulfilled. But you must also serve the higher responsibility of life, and that is God realization. And when you go for God realization, automatically you get purified. When you start chanting, when you start attending satsang programs, when you start reading the Bhagavad Gita, when you engage in devotional activities, automatically, I gave you examples of how people, nobody told that man, he stopped going to the bar. He was going to the bar, then bar mandir aaye aur bar chhod diya. You see, that is how it happens. So this is how it is self-purificatory process. This is what you must accept. You understand, no? So you must not give up your responsibilities. You must not give up your attachment to the family. That is not, you must maintain that, but you must at the same time develop your attachment to Krishna and make your family Krishna conscious. Then the whole environment improves. That is the answer. Okay?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody has any other questions?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I actually had this question. You just mentioned there should be no vices.
Yeah.
But our day, like if I consider out of 24 hours, a lot of our time goes into our household chores. And today inflation and you name it, everything is, as a value of money. So, in that kind of situation, even if I want to
हरि बोल, हरि बोल, दूसरा माइक देना. No, he's giving another mic. Yeah, he's giving. We're getting another mic. Just a minute. हरे कृष्णा, हरि बोल. ऑन नहीं किया फोन? ऑन किया? Not getting connected.
Hello. I think now.
Yeah.
So Prabhuji, now everybody is so much after earning money. You have, I'll be honest, you have EMIs, you have fees, you have everything. In that kind of scenario, survival is tough these days. So, even me, I used to have this habit of reading, but now, even if I want to, I'm not able to, because see, when you're free, you are worried. Honestly, you keep worrying. What will I do? What will I do? And when time's up, you already into working or doing your daily jobs and chores. So, what would you suggest in such scenario?
See, it doesn't mean that being Krishna conscious doesn't mean giving up your responsibilities. Again, I'm coming back to the same thing. You have your chores to do, you should do it. You have your family responsibilities, you should do it. But doing it in the consciousness that I am doing it as a service to Krishna. For example, you are a mother, so you have to take care of the child. But you must do it in this consciousness that though this is my child, it is actually Krishna's blessing on me. By Krishna's blessing, I got this child. So now it is my responsibility to look after the child for Krishna's sake. You understand? Connect him in the picture, bring him in the loop. Bring Krishna in the loop. He should be the center. Your relationship with your family is through Krishna. Krishna has given me so and so person as my husband. Krishna has given me so and so person as my mother-in-law. Krishna has given me so and so person as my father-in-law. I have to serve them. But how? As a service to Krishna. So when you put Krishna in the picture, everything gets purified. Then you will do it with greater diligence. You will do it with greater attention. And you will do it in a pure way, because you are doing it for Krishna, isn't it? So you're not denying your duties, but you are purifying your consciousness. That is the sum and substance of Krishna consciousness. Okay? Thank you.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. So I think, okay, if it's done, then we can go on for Kirtan. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes, you can ask.
Okay. Prabhuji, if at all any inauspicious things happen to us, like for example, failure in exam or theft of some important, valuable things of us, people say that it's God's will or something like that. So, how should we overcome this situation, or how to surrender to Him? The inauspicious things that happen to us.
See, things happen constantly in our lives, and it is not guaranteed that everything that will happen will be good. Sometimes adversities come in our life, setbacks do come, but we have to again connect it to Krishna. This could not happen. See, हम क्या बोलते हैं, भगवान के मर्जी के बिना पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता, right?
Right.
If you meet with an accident, for example, God forbid you should not, but I'm just telling you, if one meets with an accident, then it is not a desirable thing. Nobody ever asks like that. Nobody ever goes and prays, oh God, give me typhoid. ऐसा कोई pray नहीं करते. They say, give me good health. That's what we pray. But still we do get typhoid. होता ही है. We get disease. So what does it mean? So in this world, things happen. It's not in our control. But when there is adversity, when there are setbacks, again you bring Krishna into the picture. You say, my Lord, if this has happened to me, it must have come because of some cause. There must be some reason for this happening to me. I am sure you are doing it for my purification. I am sure you are doing it for my purification. Or supposing somebody steals your money. It could be that पिछले जन्म का कर्जदार था, वो आपका कर्जा अभी मिट गया. It could be like that. We don't know. Okay? So we take it in a philosophical way, in that way. It doesn't mean that we should not be careful. It doesn't mean that we can leave the house open and go, अरे पिछले जन्म का कर्जा था निकल गया. No. We should be careful. We should be cautious. But at the same time, inadvertently if something happens, then we should put Krishna in the picture and then do it in a proper way. And then you can pacify yourself and again you can start your activities in the normal way. You should not lose hope. You should not feel, oh, I am destroyed, I am shattered. No, it never happens like that. If there is night, there is also day. So hope is always there. And for that hope, we have to look up to Krishna and he is always there to help us. Okay? So take it in a positive way. Take everything positively. If there is a cloud, there is a silver lining to the cloud. Should look at it from that point of view. Everything has something good to contribute. So focus on the goodness. Look on the brighter side of things. But at the same time, do the needful. Okay? Thank you.
Hare
So now I think we can start with the Kirtan. Hare Krishna.
करता ले लो हरि बोल नितिन प्रभु